Well, well, well. Have y'all seen this? Let's talk Cowboys. We about to talk facts. Dak Prescott. MVP. This man is balling. It is Overreaction Monday. We can say any doggone thing we want to. Let's go. Let's get it. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G. I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this live stream, please, when you come in, hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live, and we are live. And if you see that HYPE button, hit that too. And if you haven't become a channel member or subscriber yet, please do. We have a lot of great things coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. Them Cowboys yesterday, man, y'all forgive me, man. I fell asleep yesterday. By the time I woke up, couldn't get Let's Cowboys After Dark going, but we're gonna get it going tonight after this game. But man, let me tell you something. I was so excited watching the Cowboys do exactly what they were supposed to do. Beat the green off of the New York Jets. The Cowboys balled out yesterday. So, let's get to our show for the day. This is what we're going to be talking about. So, Brian Schottenheimer presser. It's Monday. This is what we do on Mondays. We got the Brian Schottenheimer presser. I want to talk a little bit about Dak Prescott, MVP. Listen to some of the things he said in the interview. Listen to a little bit of what Michael Irvin said about him. Stephen Jones, you'll listen to some of his interview. And then I want to start doing this on Mondays, and we'll probably do this like maybe twice a week. I think one of the things we're going to do is that we're going to look at the NFC East come Monday. If they don't play on Monday, we're going to look at the NFC East on Monday and Saturdays to kind of see where we are. So today we're going to look at the NFC East status and maybe talk about a few things that happened around the NFC East. Then we're going to look back at the box scores, some of the stats for the Cowboys, and then we're going to have a new segment, and I'm going to be carrying this on every week. Was I a prophet? We're going to look back at the things that I talked about as far as the storylines and all those things to see if those things came true. So, Shotty Presser, Dak Prescott MVP, Stephen Jones, NFC East status, box scores and stats. Was I a prophet? Let's go. All right, let's get this quick roll call in, and then we're going to get this thing started. Very quick roll call, because we're going to try to be out of here tonight about 7 o'clock. We'll let you guys watch the game, and then we're going to try to get back at it tonight. I'm going to try not to fall asleep, so I'm going to make sure I get me some coffee percolating, Big Rombowski. I'll make sure I get me some coffee ready so I can do Cowboys After Dark tonight. All right, roll call. Let's go. Big Rombowski, he said, well. That's how you supposed to do a 0-4 team. Yes, it is. That's how you do it.
Yo, G, bless him.
Dominique Pittman, what's going on? He said, hit the like button, respect the channel. G is a man of the cloth. Debates are welcome, but disrespect of foul language will get you blocked. Let's go. Lord Nova, 85 up in this thing. What's going on, Lord Nova? Terry Tatum. How about them boys? Boy, let's go. Hey, man. Big Brownbowski, AJ Brown. Shoot, man, AJ Brown trying to get up out of the. He sound like he's trying to get up out of the Eagles. Caleb Lockhart, MVP. Yes, I see you. Mose Logan, what's going on? Melvin Clark in this thing. What's going on with you? Cowboys Nation 600. Good to see you. What's going on? Ronnie Dubs, what's up with you? We them boys. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, sir. Flournoy. We're going to talk about Flournoy. Hey, we them boys. I got a whole video expose coming up on Ryan Flournoy. If not tonight, it'll be tomorrow. But I got a whole, man, let me tell you something. I've been on this Ryan Flournoy thing. Yeah. Vado, what's up? John Henry in this thing. Brendan Zaguini. Jesus Rivera, what up with you? That Sacks guy. What's going on? 5 sacks. Let's go. Dak owns Brunt Boots. Let's go. Daniel, my right hand mid up in this thing. John Jones, he said, what up, G Money? You know what I'm going to tell you? It's a New Jack City. John Jones, Rico Dowdle is talking cash money up in his thing. He talking cash money stuff. Man. The Cowboys gonna make it their business for that boy not to run now. Sometimes some things are better left unsaid. Warnock, what's going on with you? Good to see you. Bleeding Blue up in here. Look, Queen, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope all is well, my sister. Jared Thomas, #1 Dak Prescott fan. I'm #2. He said, G, Hater said it was just the Jets. It was just the Jets. But I tell you this, that's a professional football team. And it wasn't a Chicago game. We did exactly what we were supposed to do. Jerry said, but them same people, they fall out their chairs to reach for Baker praise and beating 3 bad teams. Boy, yes. Straight facts. Boy, they running around up in here talking about this dude, the best thing since sliced bread. Brandon Mahoney, what up? Jamalism in this thing. Yeah, Shamar James and Flournoy. Hey, Maurice Leofold looked great too. James Houston, we them boys. Yes, he looked great too. Moski, what's up? Bernard Fields up in this thing. What's going on, Bernard Fields? All right, Katharina Kiss up in here. Can't forget to mention her. All right, let's get this thing going. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. I want to go ahead and get into this because I know I'm going to be off here no later than 7 o'clock. So I want to get into the Brad Schottenheimer press conference. I've listened to some of it. I think what I'm going to start doing going forward, I'll probably listen to the press conference before I get on, which I did today. And I'm probably just going to pull out the parts that maybe I find interesting rather than playing the whole thing. This is 26 minutes, so we might not even listen to all this in this session. We might listen to half of it. Maybe listen to the first half of it, and then we're going to move on to Dak Prescott. We're going to kind of try to keep it moving and fresh so y'all don't get too bored. Angie said she said that these Brian Schottenheimer interviews be boring her to death, so we're going to try not to bore y'all too much. So we'll listen to probably the first half of this, see what Brian Schottenheimer's talking about. But I thought the interview was very good today. So some of y'all probably already heard it. So let's get it.
Fergie's had a couple really good weeks for a guy that went through a dry spell for a while. It's been good to get him in the end zone a few times, but at the end of the day, I'm pleased with the way we're playing up front, and I think that's what we talk about all the time is owning the line of scrimmage, and it's not.
Guys, I gotta be honest with you. Hey man, Ferguson looked very good on Sunday. I mean, he actually ran after the catch. So, I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but man, hey, Jake Ferguson. I think Jake Ferguson already through 5 games has 40 receptions. I mean, man, this dude is on a 150 reception season, on pace for 150 receptions. What has he got? 40 something in the first 5 games. So we're basically talking about this dude could easily have 130 receptions by the time the season is up. Man, incredible. I ain't mad at him.
Not always going to be perfect when you play in this league because of the elite defenders that you have on the defensive line, but I think it all starts up front there. And then, of course, Dak's playing really, really well right now.
You haven't called plays in a while yourself at times about man, this is working out the way I thought it was.
No, you never do that, man. Why would you ever do that? And then next week I come in, you can be like, man, you suck. And I'll be like, yeah, my kids were laughing the other day. They were like, Dad, how'd you do? And I was like, 6'7", whatever that thing means. And they're like, you know about that? I'm like, yeah, I'm 51. I'm not 90, But no, man, listen, you know me. I just I call to try to get guys involved, but the players are the ones that make the magic happen. And the staff's done a great job of getting our guys prepared to go with whatever we dial.
Two things. You talk about
Who are you?
No, thank you. Yes, sir. Excuse me.
He's an arm of the PR staff. He's official arm.
Tad, are you on this? Tad, are you on this?
He's the official arm of the PR staff now. Anyway, Clarence Hill, Dallas Cowboys. Clayton Adams, and what he's done. Can you just talk about the importance of he and Connor with the offensive line to get these guys ready to play? Last night you readily said you've never seen having to start 4 backups up front, and I know we've been around here where one backup up front, they couldn't get anything done.
Yeah.
And you guys are able to perform so well with 4 backups up front.
Well, first of all, I think even before I go into that, Clayton, number one's a excellent football coach. He has a tough job. When you're the coordinator for a guy that's the head coach and the play caller, I've lived it with Mike. It can be hard, right? Because there's things that you think and you believe, and you're kind of like, no, and sometimes we say that, you're like, no, we're not doing that. But so easy to work with. And then again, he's just, God, he loves it, man. He loves coaching O-line. He's in there every chance he gets. But again, really the day-to-day stuff, it's the fundamentals, man. It's what they do in the class.
Clayton Adams has been incredible. Point blank. Clayton Adams has been incredible. There is no other way to slice it. Clayton Adams has been incredible. That dude is going to be a head coach in this league. Clayton Adams is going to be a head coach in this league. I'm telling you straight up. It's the only way that somebody's going to be able to snatch him from the Cowboys unless they let him go. But I believe he's going to be a head coach. Clayton Adams is incredible. What Clayton Adams has done in this run game, man, it is nothing short of astounding. Man, let me tell y'all something. Could y'all imagine prime Zeke? Could y'all imagine prime Zeke with Clayton Adams? Man. Man, this dude got Javonte Williams. He's like the number 2 back in the league right now? Clayton Adams has been incredible. There is no getting around it.
Classroom, not just teaching scheme, but the fundamentals. Offensive line is that unique position, Clarence, because there's so many guys that have to work together. And, we didn't run the ball great yesterday. We had 9 runs, I think, that went for 2 yards or less. But why was that? Well, our fundamentals were off a little bit. But as the game went on, they got better. And so when I sit in their meetings, I listen to them talk about hand placement and footwork and, strain and eyes under the chin and things like that. That's the stuff that as a head coach you get really excited about, because I'm a believer of fundamentals. And that goes back to my days of coaching quarterbacks and training quarterbacks, is if you don't talk about fundamentals, I don't know how you're going to get the most out of your players. And they've done that.
When you identified, and your guys identified Javonte.
Yeah. Clayton Adams has been incredible. Connor Riley also. Clayton Adams and Connor Riley. This Cowboys coaching staff is incredible. When you think about it, even though it was just the Jets, and we'll get to that later on, but, man, I don't care what anyone says about it being the Jets. When you're playing 3 backup offensive linemen, man, I'm telling you. And some of this is Dak Prescott, too. A lot of it is Dak Prescott in actuality. Dak Prescott is playing on such a level, and, the way he's moving people with his eyes and the way he moves in the pocket, getting the ball out of his hand very quick. It's helping every facet of the game. So, but nevertheless, man, Clayton Adams, he's been incredible. There's no doubt about it.
Williams, a guy you want to go after. What were you looking for? Because his physical style, did he remind Clayton of kind of James Carter and how he did things in Arizona? What was it about Javonte that stood out for you guys?
Yeah, I think it was number one, the physical play style certainly jumps off the film.
What up, Paris?
Quickness and the one-cut ability to make people miss. If there's one knock on Javonte, you'd say that, hey, he doesn't maybe have the long speed. But, again, it was really cool for him to have his longest run of his career yesterday. It was a hell of a run. Defensive end closed, and he was unblocked.
I couldn't help but think yesterday when Javonte Williams broke that run. This is where the Cowboys need to acclimate Jaden Blue more into that game plan. Dominique Pittman, I saw your question earlier of the sample size of Jaden Blue. I have to be honest with you, I didn't like it because I really think they need to get him involved. And the reason why I think they need to get him involved is that the way they're running Javonte Williams, it's a recipe for disaster. They have got, yes, he's the bell cow back, but doggone it, how many times do you have to ring the bell? You got Jaden Blue, man. Run Jaden Blue. Give him maybe 2 or 3 of these doggone series, and let's let him get loose and get him on some stuff on the outside. I really think they need to get another running back involved. Miles Sanders is not that running back. I want to see Phil Maffa and Jaden Blue get more involved in that run game.
And he has the strength to pull through that and then the pad level. But no, we never really compared him to anybody. He's his own player. But
yes, sir, Daniel.
I will say, and I think I've said this before, I am not surprised by how well he's playing. We saw it in training camp. Really, you go back, you look at the Denver film, there was a lot of those same type plays that, were on the film. Just, when you're sometimes coming back from an injury, it takes you a little bit longer, especially at that position.
Brian Todd Archer with ESPN. Back on Clayton for a second. What is that dynamic like during the week? Is he the run game guy, or how do you guys come up with the plan during the week?
We do pods. So there's basically a run pod and a pass pod, and it differs and changes, but there's basically a couple different meetings going on, and we get together. We have what's called checkpoint meetings where we come together about 4 or 5 times before we sit down on Tuesday afternoon and kind of finalize the first and second down game plan. And Clayton really drives the run pod. I drive kind of the pass pod, and then he and I usually get together on Monday night, for a few minutes and kind of talk about some stuff, getting ready for Tuesday. And then Tuesday we come in early and we go back to our pods and we get the ideas from the other guys. And then he and I kind of get together for about an hour and make sure there's some marriage and stuff, and then we bring the first and second down run game plan to the staff, and they shoot holes in it, and they challenge us on things, which is great. You know me, I love hard conversations, and then we tweak it a little bit more, and then we finish the pass game, and then that's kind of how it comes together. So it's a lot of guys sharing information, but we don't sit in a room like this and like we used to in the old days. Used to drive me crazy, where you sit in a room and there's all 12 of your offensive coaches watching every first and second down run, or I just think that that's time not well spent.
And then you mentioned Ferguson a little bit there. How quarterback friendly, or how important is a tight end to a quarterback?
I think because of the areas of the field that they work, they're extremely important. I think, you've seen Jake. Jake's a guy that we love, his ability to run after catch. I thought the screen was probably one of the best executed plays we had yesterday, the tight end screen. The timing of it between Dak and Fergie were great. We had Flournoy did a great job blocking the corner. You had Terrence Steele shooting. Nate Thomas was coming from the backside. But there's a trust that's developed, but you can't just say the tight end position. I think it's who that guy is, what their relationship is with the quarterback, how much trust is there. It was fun for me getting on the plane. Yesterday we were watching the film, and Dak and I were giving Fergie a hard time because the first third down of the game down there in the red zone where we barely missed him, we just were challenging his speed. And he said, I was just peeking. I was looking quick. I was trying to. But he's a joy to coach, man. Dak loves him, trusts him. But really, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention how well Scooney and Brevin are playing as well. That room in general is a good, very, very talented room that we have a lot of confidence in.
The ball hits the sky, Cam. Have you ever seen something like that before? Did you know? I think they were supposed to get the play back.
They should have done that. They should have replayed the down. Yeah. The bigger question was Kenny going to catch it? Now, he said he was. He said he was. And defensive me, he said he was. So then Flus had a great comeback question, which I thought was great. Okay, are you going to make Justin Fields miss? And he was less committal on that. So, but yes, they should have replayed the down.
Seen that before?
I've seen the scoreboard get hit with the punt, but I've never seen that now.
Chad Machado with The Athletic. It was a little surprising in preseason that you guys didn't play Javonte at all. Was this the plan all along? Did you think that, hey, we don't need to see anything from him, that you kind of had this vision that of what you're seeing right now from him?
Yeah, I think, John, it goes back to the importance of practice, how we just really, I talked about it a ton in training camp. Like, you get such great work against our defense, and we saw what we're seeing now without the tackling part of it. We saw that every day in practice against our defense, and the decisiveness, the quickness, the ability to make people miss, the ability to run through people. Like, I can't remember who. It was one of our, it might have been Elijah Clark, caught him one day a little high, Javonte.
What up, Angie?
So 2-3 plays later,
What's up,
Javonte was
Angie?
going through the hole, and he should have kept going straight, but Elijah was over to the left, and he just went on a beeline to go make contact. But you don't have to play when you're a veteran. You don't necessarily have to play in the preseason to get yourself ready to play a 17, maybe soon to be 18 game season.
And then with his run, Javonte's run on that 3rd and 1 early in the second quarter, that
well-blocked play, that excellent play that it was exactly the way we drew it up, where you don't block the defensive end, and then the guy crosses Fergie's face, there's no one there. Yeah, that one? Yeah, I remember that one, yeah. It's a great call. I say all the time, right? That was one of my best calls of the day.
But for him to, it looked like he probably should have lost 2 or 3 yards, but he ends up spinning out of that, getting 2 yards, and then the very next play you guys score. There was a lot of big plays obviously in the game for you guys, but how important do you think a play like that was? It
was huge. We were probably going to go for it. That's what we had kind of talked about. That's why we went with that play. But it just, again, goes to show you, I always say the ultimate team game, and I really believe that. But that was just an incredible, incredible effort by a fiery, doesn't say much, ultra competitive baller. And, it's one of the best 1.5-yard runs I've ever seen.
Tom.
Tommy Arsh, DallasCowboys.com. Do you have a sense if you'll get some of the guys that are banged up, like CD or any of the Tylers, back for Sunday?
Yeah, it's still early. I think, we'll find out a little bit more next couple of days. I think we're trending in the right direction on a few guys.
I hope the Cowboys don't bring these guys back for Carolina. The Cowboys should be able to take care of business on Carolina. I don't see a point in trying to rush CeeDee Lamb back a week early, Tyler Booker back a week early. They took care of business with the Jets. How much better than the Jets could the Carolina Panthers be? I know Rico Dowdle ran for 300 yards this past week, but if I'm the Cowboys, I'm not overly worried. Let me check this out real quick. I think the Cowboys should be able to annihilate the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young is one of these. He's one of these shorter quarterbacks, and he struggled somewhat too. Let me see here. They played this past week. Yeah, it was the Dolphins, right? Yeah, they played the Dolphins. Come on. Dolphins is like one of the worst teams in the league, right behind the doggone right behind the New York Jets, the Panthers, and we'll talk about this more during the week. The Panthers got beat by the Jags. They got beat by the Cardinals. They blanked the Falcons. They got blew out by the Patriots. By the way, the Patriots, man, shocked me beating the Buffalo Bills. So maybe they're not as bad as everybody thought they were going to be. and then they beat the Dolphins 27-24. I mean, the Cowboys should make they should beat the brakes off of the Panthers. But if Rico Dowdle has something to do with it, Rico is acting like he about to come up that basically he about to run for 200 yards and get revenge on the Cowboys. But we'll see how that game goes. But if I'm the Cowboys, it's the Carolina Panthers. I mean, last year I was looking at the sacks. I'm going to talk about this in a moment. But last year I was looking at the sack totals against the Carolina Panthers. And if I'm not mistaken, I mean, that was one of them games we had 6 sacks. I mean, we had 52 sacks of the whole season, and 10% of those sacks, more than 10% of those sacks was against the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers don't seem to be much better than they were last year, so the Cowboys should make easy work of them. I wouldn't be in a rush to bring back CeeDee Lamb this week, nor to bring back Tyler Booker. Guyton, I'm pretty sure, be back, but some of these people I wouldn't be in a rush to bring back. Definitely, we ain't worried about Malik Hooker. He's on injured reserve. I definitely wouldn't be putting Sanborn back on the field. That's for doggone sure. But, yeah, I wouldn't rush anybody back for the Carolina Panthers.
I'm seeing progress on all the guys, but whether they're able to make it for this weekend, we'll see. But I do think that we're closing in on some good markers for these guys in the next couple weeks.
And then when you have these guys that are coming back or starting to come back, how do you balance, getting them back into the fold, but also rewarding the guys that are playing well in their place, like a Nate Thomas or a Ryan Flanoy?
Yeah, I think it's a fine line. There's positives when young guys have to play. They learn, they realize they belong. So proud and so happy of Flo. I mean, just the confidence he played with yesterday was so cool for me to see. He doesn't say much, he just works. And I thought that was great. But, all 68 or whatever snaps was for Nate Thomas were invaluable. Going against a great pass rusher like Will McDonald was a great challenge for him. And, I think that's positive. But at the end of the day, when guys come back off injuries, it doesn't mean we're not going to need them at some point. It means that they should be more confident when they do get the call.
Joe. Joe White, Dallas Morning News. One more.
Well, I can tell you this. Terrence Steele needs to be concerned because the way Nate Thomas played, they could save money by trading or cutting Terrence Steele. I think after this season, I think they can save a massive amount of money on him. I mean, I like Terrence Steele, but I mean the Cowboys got options, man, with Nate Thomas. They got options, and then we'll see with Tyler Guyton. Boy, I'm telling you. If Tyler Guyton, boy, when he come back, he better play. He better play super good. But I'm gonna tell you who put everybody on notice. Ryan Flanoy put the entire Dallas Cowboy wide receiver room on notice. I'm telling y'all. I'm gonna do a long form video on this. I've been had this energy about Ryan Flanoy. Ryan Flanoy is that good. Ryan Flanoy is that good. I'm telling you, Ryan Flanoy may very well be the best third wide receiver the Cowboys have. I mean, Tolbert had a good game last game, but I'm gonna tell you. I was talking like this last year. Anybody who's been here for a year, I was talking like this last year. Ryan Flanoy is an incredible route runner. An incredible route runner. And now he's showing dude got hands. Dude got hands. Dude got some speed. Man, I'm telling y'all, Ryan Flanoy put the entire wide receiver room for the Dallas Cowboys on notice. And after yesterday, I'm sorry, he's looked better than any third receiver the Cowboys have had this entire season. Ryan Flanoy has literally looked better yesterday. He looked better yesterday than any of these Cowboys wide receivers. Third wide receivers, I mean. This dude's a chain mover, man. Chain mover, yards after the catch, one game. Yeah. Yeah, this old doggone Catherine the Kids. Yeah, Rico talking noise. Cowboys gonna hold him till I'm not gonna be surprised if Cowboys hold him less than 100 yards. Daniel Lim. You think he gonna come up in here and run on the Cowboys? Man, he ain't running on no Cowboys. He done opened up his mouth now. He might would have got him a buck 12 had he not started talking. But now they gonna make it their business to stop him. They are going to make it their business to stop this joke. But I'm telling you, man, Ryan Flournoy put the Dallas Cowboys wide receiver room on notice. That boy balled out, man. I'm telling you.
Javonte question. You've said you're the president of the fan club. You guys signed him the first day of free agency. It was your first signing. Obviously, there was something you guys saw that made you want to go after him. What was that? What specifically was it? I mean, did you see that? I guess a lot of people, other people might not have seen.
Well, I mean, again, I guess I probably repeat myself a little bit, but it was the physical play style. I mean, this is a guy that, you know,
yeah, let
as
that
a
man
pass
Malik Hooker stay
protector,
on
he's
injury
elite.
reserve, bro.
Playing away from the football, he's elite. I mean, he's violent with his chips and so smart and so intelligent. Who was it that said Javonte had a V for valedictorian? That was bad information. He said it had nothing to do with that. Somebody asked me that question. They thought Javonte, the V, meant valedictorian. He was his valedictorian in class, but I asked him that.
Mr. Brightside, what up?
Who was? But yeah, just the way he played the game in Denver, man. Like, you know, and I get it, the injury sucked, and, you know, it took him a little while to get back, but like, and then you're around him, and you just see that he is all about football, man. So when you talk
I agree,
about
Robert
God,
Dudley.
you know, compete every day to be the best version of yourself, man, he gives us everything he has on Monday today, and on Wednesday he will, and on Friday he will, Saturday at the walkthrough he will. And how can you not want to have a guy like that on your roster?
He's on pace for a career high in terms of rushing attempts right now. How much do you kind of, at this point of the season, kind of have to look at that? And obviously he's earned
Bleeding Blue, appreciate that $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you. Now, this was the question that I thought was very interesting, because I do think they got to get Jaden Blue more involved, because, man, they're going to run Javonte Williams in the ground. But I think this is a question that they talk about this.
the bell cow kind of spread right now, but do you have to kind of monitor that a little bit, and how does that kind of management go?
No, we're mindful of it. You know, I think, you know, it's a situation where you never want to, you know, put that thing into the atmosphere of what could happen, but it is a violent position, and he's playing great. But I think you see us, you know, when you get a guy like Jaden Blue, you know, some exposure. You know, he played well yesterday. His numbers won't say that. We blocked one play like shit on the perimeter. It was probably a bad call on my part, but he didn't really have a chance on that. But you look at the explosiveness on the kick return he almost took, and so like that's where sometimes, you know, when we get the bird's eye view, we see it live, then you watch the video of it.
You could tell Jaden Blue on that kickoff return. Jaden Blue got a different gear. Jaden Blue absolutely has a different gear. The Cowboys have got to figure out a way in this game. They got to figure out a way, the next game, this coming game against Carolina, they got to figure out a way to get this dude a little bit more involved. Little bit more involved. Yeah, reality Cowboys offensive line depth is incredible, bro. It's incredible. I absolutely love it. Jamal Lism, appreciate that super chat. Jamal said Tolbert, BB Steele, and Sanborn should all be worried. Man, poor Jamal. This dude, Ryan Flournoy, put the Dallas Cowboy wide receiver room on notice. Man, all this talk we talked about Trayshawn Holden and man, you know, there's talk of Jonathan Mingo. Nah, bro. Flournoy said, hey, hold on a second. Shoot. Flournoy is a baller. Flournoy is a baller. I talked about him last year. I thought he was going to make the leap last year. The Cowboys, he actually started making this leap during training camp with Joe Milton. He started really showing his skill off. And then last game, he showed a little something. This week, shoot, he did exactly what you needed, because I was really concerned. Could the next wide receiver step up? Because I still say the Cowboys are using Cavante Turpin wrong. You've heard me say this now for weeks. They're using Cavante Turpin as a traditional third. he's not good as a traditional third. Cavante Turpin needs to be more of the gadget guy. Let's get, okay, how do we get him in space? You know, let's run him on some reverses. You know, how do we get him maybe in a screen? Let's get him on some pick plays. You got to get Turpin in space to allow his speed to be effective. But to use him as a traditional wide receiver, third wide receiver, what we saw happen to him now is what's going to happen to him. He's a smaller dude. He don't need to have 30 snaps at doggone wide receiver. He's a smaller dude. He needs to be a specialist. And I would rather use Ryan Flanoy in that role of a third wide receiver than using Cavante Turpin. But I can tell you this, Ryan Flanoy has earned some snaps from somebody. So even when Turpin get back, this dude getting snaps. Because I am telling you, this dude is an absolute baller. And they have got to make sure this dude stays on the field. But yeah, Ism. Hey, and he's not the only one on notice. Sanborn shouldn't get back in the game. Sanborn shouldn't even be worried. Sanborn should have got a note yesterday saying, bro, your butt on the bench until further notice. Sanborn don't need to get back out there. But BB, no, we ain't worried about BB. BB been balling. But our problem is with Brock Hoffman is how do we keep Brock Hoffman after this year? Brock Hoffman can start on so many teams. Brock Hoffman gonna get that bag next year. Brock Hoffman gonna get that bag next year, man. I'm telling you. He gonna get that bag, boy. Big Rabowski, I think Nick Thomas look better at left tackle than Guyton. I'd rather Guyton get moved to right tackle when he returns. Boy, we've talked about that. I think that Guyton needs to go to right tackle. I think it's more of a natural position for him. I'd love to see Nate Thomas at that left tackle position. I would. Shoot, Poopy D, that boy was possessed. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hallelujah. 19 put the league on nose. That boy balled, man. He balled. Carlito, what up? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, trade him. Yeah, cut him or trade him. The Cowboys going to save money either way. Problem is the Cowboys media beats down on guys so much that they have less trade value. Yeah, Terrence Steele. And it's not that Terrence Steele is bad. It's not that Terrence Steele is bad. But Nate Thomas has been balling. Yeah. Yeah, you talking about Ryan Flanoy, we them boys? Shoot, that boy Ryan Flanoy. I'm telling you, man, I did a video on him last year. That dude, Ryan Flanoy, boy, he a beast. Star Guardian said, even though it was the Jets, I fell in love with Clayton Adams. Usually if we're down just one old lineman, we crumble. But exactly right. We're down 4G, didn't notice. You're exactly right. Connor Riley, I'm giving Connor Riley credit too. Connor Riley and Clay Adams, they both good. Andy said, nah, G, you was Team Tolbert. Oh, no, I still like Tolbert. But, Angie, I've been had this energy. On Ryan Flanoy. Don't believe me? Y'all might not remember this. He's going to be fantastic. I think we're going to be looking at him not only deep into the season where he's going to become a factor. Jalen Tolbert, I've talked about it before. Jalen Tolbert, he needs to really make an impact this season because he can be the complementary receiver to CeeDee Lamb that the Dallas Cowboys need. But I'm not going to count out Flournoy. And I've been had this energy. He's so extremely talented. A lot of people say he's kind of like Dez Bryant, but as talented, and I'm telling you, Dez Bryant is from East Texas. I've been had this energy, Angie. Now, I like Jalen Tolbert. I said the same thing in this video I've been saying about Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert needs to step his game up. But I said in this video last year, don't count out Ryan Flanoy. And I was shocked that Ryan Flanoy didn't make a jump last year. And I don't think the Cowboys gave him a chance last year. But this year, they're giving him a chance. Angie, I've been had this energy about Ryan Flanoy. Check him out. I mean, check this video out. I'm gonna do a long form video on this later on. The route running. And you got to think we're in a different age now. I mean, even when Dez Bryant was coming up, Dez Bryant was raw talent. I've been had this energy, Angie. Today, They're working with the footwork king. I mean, they got their own personal coaches they're working with and showing them how to run routes, footwork, and all kinds of stuff. So you can tell he's one of these new product wide receivers, and he's got the skill set. He's got the skill set. Now, I don't think he's quite the physical raw specimen like Dez Bryant was, but he's got some of that. And I think that this guy Flournoy, is going to be an absolute beast. Just Angie, I've been had this energy. You gonna call me a prophet before it's over? I've been had this energy, Angie. I had this energy before anybody was talking about Ryan Flournoy. I talked about Ryan Flournoy before anybody did. I talked about Ryan Flournoy last year, and nobody was talking about Ryan Flournoy. I've been had this energy. I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna do a follow-up video on this because Ryan Flournoy again has come on the radar, and the Cowboys, they need to do something. Hey, he done put these boys on notice. I thought he was gonna put them on notice last year, but he done put these boys on notice. I've been had this energy, Angie. I just don't down Tolbert because I do think Tolbert is a good wide receiver. I don't think he's Ryan Flournoy. I think Ryan Flournoy has a better upside than Jalen Tolbert. That don't mean Jalen Tolbert is a bad wide receiver. That just saying that, sometimes two things can be true. And I tell people this all the time. Two things can be true. Jalen Tolbert don't have to be a bad wide receiver for Ryan Flournoy to be better than him. That just means that Ryan Flournoy is just that good. But yeah, Angie, I've been had this energy. This ain't nothing new for me. I've been had this energy.
But and you see the stats, and you're kind of like, oh, Jaden didn't play very well, but that's not the case at all. He actually did some really good things, and but Javonte, he's the bell cow, and he's earned that. We believe in him, and that's the way we'll approach moving forward.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Brian, I think at the end of the game, you guys paid homage to Tom Landry with the victory formation. How much, if anything, do you pull from that era of?
You did play though, of course.
Jimmy didn't pay. Jimmy didn't pay homage.
They're elite coaches. It was a great plan. I was really just proud of the way we fought. But we have confidence in all of our guys. And
yeah, they got to use them as a change-up, bleeding blue.
A little bit in the spring.
That's what they got to do with it.
Very active in free agency. Trying to get depth, and injuries are nothing new around here. I mean, it's part of the game. And again, I said last night, and I still can't think of one where I've ever gone in with four different starting offensive linemen.
Clayton Adams, Connor Riley.
Yeah. But, again, I think, at the end of the day, the players are the ones that make it come to life. And we have to come up with plans that we think feature what they do well.
Now, Timmy Terry,
with attacking.
This is my fear, this thing that you just said. They're going to run Williams like they did Zeke. I don't want them to run him like they ran Zeke and DeMarco Murray. You got Jaden Blue and Phil Maffa. Do not run this guy in the ground. It's a long season. It's only game 5, man, and I'm telling you. And the crazy thing is when you look at this thing with Javonte Williams, we're really just in a different time in a sense, because it's not that the Cowboys are running him like a bunch of carries. He had 15, 15 first game. So what's that, 33? He had 18 the second game, 43. So he had 10. So he's up to 43, 63, 73. So he's up to 79 carries. I could have seen that right there if I'd have been looking. But it's not the fact that they're running him a lot. It's the fact of how hard he runs. And that's what my concern is. It's the way he runs. I mean, I'm not going to say he runs like a mini Earl Campbell, but doggone it. Man, this dude be like knocking folk. Man, this dude be knocking heads when he run, man. This dude be knocking heads when he run. So the Cowboys have really got to get somebody else. Miles Sanders is ineffective. I don't care anything about what's going on with his feet, knees, toes, whatever. He's not a good complimentary back. So Jaden Blue, Like he got a different type of step to me too. So the Cowboys have really got to let Jaden Blue start getting worked in there. Star Garden said Flournoy reminds me of a smaller A.J. Brown. Yeah, I said he was more like a smaller Dez Bryant. But Ben, route running, way better. Way better. I talked about it last year. Nobody was talking about Flournoy the way I was talking about him. Dude is a route runner. And he's only gotten better, and you could tell in the preseason, he had gotten better at running routes. But the Cowboys brought in Pickens, and that kind of changed up the pecking order. So then you had kind of all battling for this third spot. Shotty had already made his mind up. Turpin was going to play a traditional third. I still don't think he needs to do that. Turpin, Tolbert, of course, you know they like Tolbert. They're going to give Tolbert his... Tolbert is a made man with the Cowboys in a sense. But I do think Flournoy, just like I said last year, I'm not counting out Flournoy. Flournoy may have very well opened up their eyes because Flournoy has a different type of step to me than Tolbert. It's not that I don't think Tolbert can do it. It's like Tolbert just hasn't done it yet. For whatever reason, it sounds like Tolbert started playing football late in his life. He was just a good athlete. But you can tell Flournoy been doing this. Flournoy been doing this. He ain't new to this. He true to this. Flournoy is one of these guys you can tell just by the way that he does this thing that Flournoy that he been doing this. And so he's ready to take a step. He seems to me, when I look at Tolbert in year 2 versus what I'm seeing from Flournoy in year 2, Flournoy is like light years ahead of what Tolbert was in year 2. And so that's kind of where we are. But yeah, this dude Flournoy is going to be a beast, man. I'm happy for him. I hope he really gets the job. Tristan York said, good evening, G. Got my wish. Defense and Dak balled. Appreciate that super chat. Yeah, the defense looked different because guess what? It's amazing to me that it takes injuries for this team to do some of the things that it needs to do. Takes injuries. So we got Wanye Thomas. The back end looked better. Sanborn, whatever was going on with him, Maurice and Shamar look better. So it's like injuries. Angie said, don't forget to mention that flashback video was sponsored by Angie and my voice boogie. Yeah. Yeah, no. The flashback sponsored by my unofficial co-host Andrew. Yes, yes. Yeah, Andrew, I'm telling you, I've been on this dude Flournoy. But again, Cowboys when it got Mingo. Turpin gonna play part of the third. Tolbert is a made man. Then we bring in Trayshawn Holden. And I'm kind of like, okay, is Flournoy gonna kind of get lost in the sauce? But Flournoy kind of started coming on a little bit in training camp. And then we saw some of the things he did in preseason. Man, I'm hoping this game that he played this last one, Angie, I hope they give him more snaps. And I really think Cowboys need to rethink this thing with Turpin. I'm not necessarily worried about Tolbert because they'd already kind of reduced Tolbert's snaps anyway. He was already splitting the snaps. He was already splitting the snaps with Turpin anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I really think the Cowboys are playing Turpin too much as a traditional third. He's just not I don't really look at Turpin as a wide receiver. I look at him more as a gadget guy. And so the Cowboys need to stick to that formula because getting him mixed all up in just, I mean, what is he doing running a 5-yard crossing pattern? So he can get mollywopped by a linebacker? Nah, they don't need to be running him like that. But I'm hoping that this dude Flournoy can get some more time. I like the way he looked. I'm pretty sure y'all did too. I like the way Flournoy looked. I mean, Flournoy looked like a very polished wide receiver. I mean, to me, y'all tell me what y'all think, but I just think he's looked the best out of all the third wide receivers. He's looked better than all of them to me.
Your opponent, but at the end of the day, the players are the magic.
and then the play. It's got to be a backstory because you hit the screen to Fergie, and I saw Dak doing this. Clearly, somebody had wanted to put it in. Maybe somebody didn't like it.
Yeah, you're right, Tim and Terry.
Well,
That's what I
yeah,
talked
you
about
got
last
something.
year. He's a better route. He's a better route
You
runner.
know, yeah, I mean, no, yeah, I mean, yeah, that was one of the plays that we liked early in the week, and he and I talked about, and but you know, it's more the emotion of the game, man. You know, and I probably haven't called enough screens, to be honest with you. And
But no, it feels this is exactly where I am. Turpin needs to be more like Percy Harvin type plays. That's exactly where I am. I just don't. He's not a. I would not be playing Turpin as a traditional third wide receiver because I'm telling you, if you do, he's not going to last. Turpin's a small dude. He's not going to last. He's going to be nicked up all season long because he's a small dude. Get him in space. You got to get him in space. You get Turpin in space, he's dangerous. You letting Turpin play a traditional third wide receiver, he gonna get his clock clean. He's a very small dude. Very small dude. All right, let's talk this last one for. Let's see, we got a couple more. Then I want to move on because I'm only gonna listen to a little bit of Dak Prescott.
but when they come off, screens are, you know, the best way to call screens is to look at them as runs. That's what I've learned in my career. Is when you call a screen, you need to look at it like effective run is 4 yards or more.
Yeah, we're going to get to see Mingo in about another week or two,
Hard to get that,
FB.
but a screen has a chance for more of an explosive play. So, like, there's a great example. When you look at screens like their runs, if you make 4 or more, you're ecstatic. But when they go for 27 or 28 or whatever it was, I thought that was Staubach again coming back. No? Yeah. But no, I think, that's just the emotion of Dak being such a fiery competitor.
Nicole.
Nicole Hutchinson, DallasCowboys.com. Tyler Smith told me that Javonte is one of the hardest runners he's ever seen. Where would you rank him amongst running backs that you've coached and seen?
Wow. Great question. His run style's different, so I mean, I hate comparing players.
Kevin Ellis, I like your point, but if it's me, I would pick Ryan Flanoy as a third wide receiver over Turpin. I just would. I've never liked Turpin as a receiver as much as I've liked Turpin as a gadget guy. That's just me. But I'm telling you, Kevin Edwards, if they're going to play him like they're playing him, okay, look, let me see here. If they're going to keep playing Turpin the way they're playing him, then what you're seeing now is what you're going to get. Because you got to realize what happens when Turpins get injured. When Turpin gets injured, you no longer have him as a kick returner. But I'm telling you, Jaden Blue looked really good on that kick return yesterday. All right, we're going to play this, and I'm going to look up something on Kevontae Turpin because I'm going to show you. Kevontae Turpin hasn't been as effective at the third wide receiver spot. He just hasn't been effective.
Michael Turner in San Diego. He ran with that physical style. Thomas Jones was another very physical runner. Sean Green. Javonte's ability to get his pads down and to strike with power and leg drive, and I mean, it's unique. But like if you watch him and what he does pre-practice, getting ready for practice, post-practice, working on his leg strength and things like that, it's no surprise that
need another running back though.
Has bounced back the way that he has, and that he has been as effective as he's been.
Newey
Scruggs, NBC5. Brian, can you take me in your mind just when you call that play for Javonte, the big run there? What were you seeing beforehand? How you set it up, and then just to get that play done and to make that right call?
Yeah. Well, we got the touchdown. We had the 2 timeouts left. They come out.
Oh, hold on, Jamal Leslie. I'm sorry I didn't read the rest of your super chat. Okay. So Jamal said that Ryan Flanoy can play basketball. Okay. He said, and the Michael apologist owed Ferg an apology. Well, I'm wondering when people are going to start apologizing to Jerry Jones. That's what I'm wondering, Jamalism. When people gonna start apologizing to Jerry Jones? When people gonna start apologizing about Michael Parsons trade? Now, it's only been 5 games, but I'm gonna tell you something that I found today that's astounding. So the Cowboys through 5 games, they have 10 sacks. You know how many sacks they had last year through 5 games? The Cowboys were having the exact same problems last year that they were having this year defensively. Problem is our memory is so short. The Cowboys, even with Michael Parsons last year, were having problems getting pressure on the quarterback. The Cowboys only had 10 sacks last year in the first 5 games. This defense is looking pretty much like it did last year. What's looking different is the offense. But the defense is looking pretty much the same. Now, hopefully, we just had a breakout game from the defense. So maybe the defense gets it quicker than we got it last year. Because them boys fumbled the bag last year. They fumbled the bag last year. Angie said, who was the winner and loser from last night on the Cowboys team to you if you had to say? Okay, let me put that in the, I'm going to put that in the, I'm going to come back to that question, Angie. Because we're going to go to was I a prophet? We're going to put that in our was I a prophet section. Well, you already know. You already done talked about one of the losers, Angie. Angie, you already talked about one of the losers from last night. Because I think one of the losers from last night definitely was Turpin. Not Turpin, Tolbert. Man, I'm telling you. Flournoy may have long-term ramifications, Angie, on Jalen Tolbert's future. Why would you re-sign Jalen Tolbert when you got Flournoy playing? It's only game 5. I want to see Flournoy do this some more against some better competition. But, boy, Flournoy mess around and do this about 3 more times, Angie. Tolbert, we already know that Tolbert was a loser from last night, for sure. Tolbert was definitely a loser. Again, and we'll bring this up. Matter of fact, I may have to make that into a section going forward. Sponsored by Angie. I'm going to come back to that question when we get to the was I a prophet section, because we're going to go over what we talked about the Cowboys needed to do. All right. So we're gonna conclude this with Brian.
They threw an incompletion on first down.
But we gotta get Jaden Blue more involved. I really believe the Cowboys have got to get Jaden Blue involved, because if not, they're going to just run Javonte Williams in the ground. And I just don't think they need to do that. It's a long season. And again, it's not the fact that they're running him a bunch of carries. It's the way that he runs. He's a very violent runner, man. When you run like that, dude, you have got to have another running back. And again, every time I watch him and he breaks, like he broke that run yesterday, and I'm just like, boy, if that's Jaden Blue, if that's Jaden Blue that breaks that run, nobody's catching him. I mean, this dude, Javonte Williams, was way out there. There's no reason somebody should have caught him. There's just no reason somebody should have caught him, but they caught him. There's no reason. Again, let's go back to this real quick. Let's go to our next thing here. Hold on a second. Let me. All right, let's go to this right here.
Yes! Here we go!
Let's listen to this again when Dak Prescott was leaving out. And let me put this in with Jamal Ism. Jamal Ism, appreciate the super chat. He said Dak is my MVP and it's not even close. I don't really think it's close right now in the NFL, especially after last night with doggone man, the way Josh Allen looked and the way Justin Herbert's looked. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has only had one good game. Lamar Jackson is on the sideline, and he was already stinking it up before then. Joe Burrow on the sideline again. I mean, the reality is it hasn't been close. Dak Prescott has been the best quarterback in the league through 5 games. And this is what Dak Prescott heard coming off the field last night. Yo! Everybody know. Everybody know. But I'm glad Dak's not listening to him. There's an article over here on, there's multiple articles about what Dak Prescott said about this. I mean, there's just so many articles about this. But Dak Prescott has basically said he does not care about what anybody is saying about the MVP. And one of the things, the reason why I believe that Dak Prescott has this attitude is because Dak knows that these people will turn on you in a moment's notice. One bad game and they'll be right back where they were on you. So Dak Prescott says right here, it says the Cowboy fans in attendance were amped up by his performance and started a few MVP chants in the MetLife Stadium seats. When asked about it after the game, Prescott acknowledged he heard them, but his reactions was summed up in a blunt 3-word statement. I don't care. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Don't listen, Dak. Don't listen, bro. This is only game 5. About to be game 6. It's a long season. We got 12 more games to go. Just got to keep the consistency, keep balling, and it'll be all good. Tony Nichols, I appreciate that super chat. Tony Nichols, you make a good point right here. Jerry Jones is paying Turpin like a 3. Yep, I agree with you. They tried the same thing with Tavon Austin. Agree with you. Keep him as a gadget and a kick returner. Yeah, keep him as a gadget and a kick returner. He's too small. Learn from Debo. Yeah, Tony Nichols. See, my issue with Kevontae Turpin is his size. Because what we're seeing is going to be what we're seeing if they keep... Why are we running this dude on 5 yards? Okay, it's one thing if you're going to run him on deep crossing patterns and flies and, deep outs and deep digs, and you're going to get him to carry... Maybe you get Kevontae Turpin to carry the cornerback deep or get the attention of the safety. Okay, I get it if you're going to use him like that, but to use him as a traditional number 3 receiver on crossing routes, it makes no sense to me. Just makes no sense to me. But, yeah, I agree with you on the pay, and that's kind of how the Cowboys operate sometimes, and I hate that. And they're not the only ones do it. Other teams do it too. You pay somebody and you like, hey, we're paying them. We want to use them more. So I get it. But I do believe they definitely should look at maybe using Kevontae Turpin. I'm telling us, Ryan Flanoy, through all of these third wide receiver trials we've seen over the last 5 games, Ryan Flanoy looked better than all of them. Ryan Flanoy looked like a true third receiver. He looked like a true third receiver. Keep playing. I mean, he looked like a borderline number 2 receiver to me. I mean, the dude was he was balling, man. He was balling. There's no other way to get around it. Balling. Now, Ed, you just so happened. I just so happened. You said I was prepared for you, dog. It just so happened I was already getting ready to do that. I was already getting ready to do that Ryan Flanoy follow-up video, and it just happened to be right there. So I wasn't ready like that. Nah, you know how we do it. Me and you always good. But yeah, Angie, I'm telling you, you're right with Tolbert though, and I don't think this is an issue that Tolbert has to be a bad wide receiver. Tolbert is probably gonna go somewhere else and get signed, but Ryan Flanoy is gonna make it hard for him. Ryan Flanoy is gonna make it hard for him to be re-signed for the Cowboys. Not only is he gonna make it hard for him to be re-signed, but we still got to see what Jonathan Mingo is. Got to see what Jonathan Mingo is. But I can tell you this dude Ryan Flanoy, boy, he balling. All right, let's listen to some of this interview from Dak Prescott. I like how he opened it up with talking about Jalen Tolbert. I mean, Angie, I'm sorry, I'm saying Jalen Tolbert. You got me saying Tolbert because you're calling him Toburn. Let's see how Dak Prescott talked about Ryan Flanoy when he opened up his interview.
Ryan Flanoy and the big game he had this afternoon.
Yeah, super proud of him. A guy that second year, very, very hungry, is not afraid to tell you how much he wants it. I had plenty of conversations with him, going back to like those Atlanta trips and just those off-season times of spending together and getting to know somebody. That guy he has a lot of, as an old coach you say, in his neck, and he wants to be great, and he wants to every opportunity and responsibility he can, he wants to make the most of. And I think tonight was just an example of just that, of him getting that opportunity, him making every play that came his way, whether it was the deep ones across the middle, the free play down the sideline.
Yeah, I think that's what Dak just mentioned, but he didn't say he had a chip. I don't even know what he said he had in his neck. What did he say he had in his neck? Oh, they bleeped it out. I mean, what did he say he had in his neck? What did he say he had in his neck? Somebody put in the chat what Dak said he had in his neck before they bleeped it out. I've never heard the term of somebody got something in their neck. I mean, what does that mean? But yeah, Big Rombowski said, I like players that come from small schools like Flanoy did as he came out of Central Missouri University. They play with a chip on their shoulders. Big Rombowski, if I'm not mistaken, Jerry Rice came out of a small school and only turned out to be the best wide receiver in NFL history. Metris Adams, what's going on? Flanoy had no one to throw to him last year except Noodle. Boy, Metris Adams, speaking of Cooper Rush, man, I never thought the day was going to come. Man, I never thought the day was going to come to where he was going to start for the Baltimore Ravens. Boy, this man looked... Noodle arm is a compliment. It's a compliment because the way he looked Lil D, Florida reminded me of Dez when we got him first, got him, but better route runner. Yeah, he's definitely a better route runner. But that boy, Dez Bryant, when you talk about raw power and speed, woo, nothing like him. Anthony Beck in the crib, what up with you? Welcome to the congregation today. Yes, sir, all is good with the family. Hope all good with you too.
Around. He's just showing that he's very deserving of the ball, and he's going to make plays when he gets it. Super proud of him.
Looks like Javonte Williams continues to have really good games. Your thoughts on how he played today?
He's a hell of a player. Great player.
FB, you make a comment right here. I think it's pretty interesting. You said if number 19 got to go back on the bench on the practice squad when Mingo is available, trade Tolbert to keep him in the active roster. You know what? Trade deadline coming up. I'm not sure if the Cowboys would trade Jalen Tolbert. I just think they really like Jalen Tolbert. I think they're going to give him every opportunity. But Jalen Tolbert, there's some teams out there that would probably want Jalen Tolbert. Maybe the Cowboys trade him. Maybe the Cowboys trade Tolbert at the deadline. Maybe they can get something for him. Maybe they can get another linebacker or, because if I'm the Cowboys, any trade I make at the trade deadline is not going to be for next year. Any trade I make at the trade deadline, I'm getting it now. I'm getting something I can use now because the way the Cowboys are balling and the way, if we can get that defense, if you can get that defense back up, man, get this defense right and add another piece, whatever that may be. But again, the way Shamar James and Maurice Leal-Fowl played the other day, man, you put them on the other side of on the other side of DeMarion Overshown, man, you might have one of the fastest linebacking crews in the NFL. Maurice, Shamar, and Demarion Overshown may very well be one of the fastest linebacking crews in the NFL. So we're gonna see, but I don't know. Tobin seems to be a made man with the Cowboys. They like him, so we'll see how it turns out. Angie, the Rebel Chick, she said it's good for morale. She said if we going off what Shorty wants, then he's speaking of competition culture, the battle for wide receiver 3, Tolbert versus Flo. Angie, we got to throw Mingo in there too. We have to throw Mingo in there. We got to see what Mingo is. But I don't think Mingo is that crispy route runner, at least from what I've noticed, from what I looked at last year. Woo, I don't think he's that crispy route runner like Flanoy. Flanoy is crispy, man. He is crispy. So, woo. Flanoy put that wide receiver room on notice. Boy, you better not drop Edgy, you better not drop a ball in practice with Ryan Flanoy up in this thing. That dude, woo, he showed out on Sunday. Thomas Hughes, appreciate that $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you. All right, we're going to listen to a couple of more things from Dak Prescott, and then I want to get to we're going to probably skip Stephen Jones. I want to look at the NFC East, and then we're going to kind of throw in the box scores and the stats with Was I a Prophet? So I want to make sure I get all that in. So, Angie, I know that's not going to hurt your feelings that we're going to skip the Stephen Jones interview. We'll probably hit that on Cowboys After Dark tonight. But let's listen to a couple more questions from Dak Prescott. We'll probably listen to the rest of this tonight, too. It's a longer interview. And then we're going to go to the NFC East because I think that's a very big deal.
Great running back, understands the schemes, understands the pass game, understands what we're trying to get at. Always is going to get positive yards. I mean, there's been numbers of plays now where it should have been a negative play, and the guy he's so strong. He shakes his defender off of him, still go gets a first down and third down, or fourth down, whatever it may be. He's a huge help to this team. He's been a great addition.
Yes, sir, Timmy Terry.
Credit everything he's doing, but there's a lot of those guys up front tonight, playing with not necessarily, I mean, 4 backups, I guess you can say, and I hate to say backups, but 4 guys who got their opportunity tonight, who went and created holes for him and played nasty and played to the end of each whistle, and Javonte running hard like he always does resulted in a big night for him.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. Piggybacking on that, can you just talk about this team and your guys' ability to function as an offense? You as a quarterback with 4 backups in offense.
Man, I'm going to tell you, man, people, Star Guardian X brought this up earlier. Do y'all remember last year when we were getting injuries? Man, we were crumbling on every injury. Team was falling apart. Not with Dak healthy. Not with Dak healthy. Not with Brian Schottenheimer calling these plays. Not with this new coaching staff. Man, these boys have worked miracles with these players missing. Tristan York, he said, Flournoy's a dog. Yeah, Dak has good chemistry with all his receivers, and Houston needs more than 27 snaps. He's a game changer. Woo! Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, Flournoy done put that wide receiver room on notice. Bruce Pitt said that he said Turpin made plays in the Green Bay game. I don't have a problem with him playing wide receiver. It's just the way they're playing him. You can't play Turpin as a traditional third wide receiver. You can't. Let me show you something I looked up on Turpin. As a matter of fact, let me see. Let's see. Let me just show you kind of what Turpin. This is kind of how the Cowboys are using him. And again, I guess there's just not a bunch of snaps to go around. But even when you kind of look at the way they're using Turpin, I mean, look at this. 2 targets against the Eagles, 18 yards. 4 targets against the Giants. Now, that was the game he had quite a few targets. He had 1 touchdown, 4 targets. Chicago Bears, he only had 3 targets, 2 receptions, 37 yards. And then against Green Bay, I mean, he only had 30 yards. He had 4 targets and 3 receptions. So let's see. That's 11 receptions, 13 targets, 159 yards, right? That's Cavante Turpin. Let's listen to some more Dak Prescott, and then I'm going to show you what Ryan Flanoy did yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it's credit to these coaches, it's credit to the players, it's credit to the organization, and I mean everybody. There's not many teams in the league that can put four guys who don't start into the game and feel confident about going and winning a game, especially on the road, against one of the most premier interior defensive linemen and some good rushers as well. So I mean, credit from the front office of getting these guys, but just as important, I mean, these guys don't see themselves as backups, as they shouldn't. They've just been waiting on their opportunity. It goes back to April and OTAs all the way through minicamp of guys taking advantage of each rep that they've gotten and knowing that their time's going to come. Our OC Clayton says it all the time. If you don't like your position or if you're a little upset, you know that you're not the guy. Wait 10, 15 minutes. You never know. That's the way that this league goes. And those 4 guys and Flo and other guys show that tonight, that you just keep your head down, you keep working, you control what you can control. When your opportunities come, you don't have to look around, you can take advantage of them.
You know, we talked earlier in the week about the emotional game last week and not being let down. And can you just talk about what you guys did during the week? Did you see this coming? Because we've seen this before. You come over to a Jets team, a winless Jets team you lost before, didn't have the same intensity.
Did he win? I was a young Dak and not this team. Don't put this team in that same category. Different, everything's.
Boy, Dak didn't like that, did he? Shoot, Dak said, "Hey man, this is we ain't talking about the past." I feel you on that, Dak.
It's different, man. I mean, each year, each identity, each year, each team's different. I get 1,000% get what you're saying, but I saw this coming just on the simple fact of this team knows how confident we are, what we're capable of doing. We know how important it was to get the taste of last week out of our mouth and out of our mind. Whether it was, sure, it was a good game, but it was a tie. You don't play in this league to get ties, and so
the referees
you know how hungry
do.
the defense is, right? Sure, I mean they're being asked and being called on, right, from I'm sure all of you guys to do more, and they went out there tonight and played a hell of a game and got some turnovers and numbers of sacks that allowed us, to play a complimentary game on all phases of it. And super proud of the team, the way we came out, we fought, loved the whole end of the second quarter, right? That was huge, from that turnover to the way the offense was able to get the 2 touchdowns. I'm sure they'd all say the same. We want to finish more, and I know we left some plays and some points out there today.
Dak Arch with ESPN. How do you maintain the confidence that you have when you have 4 non-starting offensive linemen out there? You have to be aware of that. Your regular guys aren't there.
It's the time that you spend together throughout the building, and it's those moments, those reps that they get throughout practice. I had a conversation with the young lineman earlier in the week about, how I became a starter. And so if there's ever a guy who's going to believe in somebody having to step up.
All right, we'll probably save Dak Prescott for the rest of it for tonight. But again, I just wanted to show, when you look at the Cowboys, kind of the way they've been using Cavante Turpin. When you look at the way they've been using Cavante Turpin, I think by them using him so much as a traditional third receiver, this is kind of like, this is the stats that you're kind of looking at: 11 for 13 for $159 and 1 touchdown. But the Cowboys, when you look at Ryan Flanoy yesterday, you're talking 6 receptions, $114. I mean, man, he almost got Cavante Turpin's whole season in what? 1 game. And I think that's because the Cowboys, they're not using him as an explosive third receiver. They're not using him like that. They're just using him like a traditional wide receiver. Okay, I understand they want to have that speed on the field from time to time because they feel like speed kills, and speed does kill, and it probably makes people, it makes people want to know where he is. But doggone it, man, don't just use him as a decoy. If you're going to have him out there, man, utilize him. Figure out a way to get him open. Figure out a way to get the ball in his hand. But you can't just let him be out there running around because, yeah, we just want to have him out there for the speed because we know it'll scare people. They got to use him better than that. All right. Let me read a couple more super chats. Appreciate y'all rocking with me today. Alex is up in here. What is going on? The offense is so stacked. He said, I don't see any defense stopping them. Defense look better. If they can keep it up, we can take the division. That's what we're about to talk about. That's why we're going to start talking about the NFC East. Starting this week, we're going to talk about the NFC East twice a week. We'll talk about them twice a week. We're going to talk about them probably on Mondays and Saturdays. Ramifications of, we're going to start covering, we'll start covering the games that the NFC East are going to play, because those games are going to start being important to us the further we get into the season. But hey, Alex, bro, if we can just have a top 20, if we could just be at number 20 on defense, no one's going to be able to stop the Cowboys. Dak Prescott is playing on a level right now that's insane. And y'all do remember Colin Cowherd said it best. Dak Prescott with a running game is Patrick Mahomes. Shoot. Dak Prescott with a running game is Patrick Mahomes. You can't stop Dak Prescott if his play action is working. And as a matter of fact, Dak Prescott destroyed the Jets. This is why I said, people talk about quarterback pressure. It's such an overrated stat. I don't want to hear about the pressure. I want to know the result of the pressure. Michael Irvin talked about it today. Michael Parsons was beating the man in front of him. But who was beating Michael Parsons was Dak Prescott. Because Dak Prescott was either stepping up in the pocket, getting the ball out of his hands, or his hand, and even taking a hit from time to time from Michael Parsons to make those completions. Don't tell me about the pressure. I want to know the result of the pressure. Well, what happened to the Green Bay Packers? They got 40 points put up on them. That was the result of the pressure. Anthony Beck, appreciate that $1.99 super chat. He said, go Gators. Dak Prescott killed the Jets when they pressured him yesterday. Killed him. Murked him with touchdown throws. Dak Prescott ate that doggone pressure like it was nothing. Angie, I agree with you. Stop using Turpin as a running back. They got to get it. They got to get him in space. Yeah, Timmy Terry, I really think that this dude Flournoy, man, he looked really, really good. Got them boys on notice too. So let's kind of look at the NFC East standings. We absolutely had some good things happen for us yesterday. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all already know this. But the doggone Denver Broncos, I don't even understand it. I don't even understand it. The Denver Broncos knocked off the Eagles. But I'm going to tell you, the Eagles, to me, the Eagles are starting to remind me of the Kansas City Chiefs team from last year. Kansas City Chiefs came off winning that second Super Bowl in a row. And last year, it was like every game was close. Every game the Kansas City Chiefs played were close. And it was always some weird way they were winning the game. Everything was close. And it finally caught up with them. It finally caught up with them. And they just got mollywopped in the Super Bowl. But the Eagles got beat by the Denver Broncos yesterday. And then what really shocked me was the Washington Commanders. I was shocked the Washington Commanders beat the LA Chargers at home. I was shocked. I was really hoping that we were going to get them to go to 2-3. The Commanders are 3-2. The Cowboys are 2-2-1. So I think that basically puts them about a half game. But yeah, about a half game out. And then I was really shocked. I was shocked that the Saints beat the New York Giants. I was shocked. So the Cowboys, let's kind of look at, let's see who each one of these teams play. The Eagles, if I'm not mistaken, the Eagles will be playing the Giants come Thursday night. I'm struggling with if the Giants really have a chance with Jackson Dart. I'm really struggling, but you know what? The New York Giants have a very good defensive line. I think we'll probably predict those games towards the end of the week too. Doggone New York Giants got a very good defensive line, and so if they can handle up on Jalen Hurts, it might be an absolute great game. But we got the Giants and the Eagles. We would actually rather. I guess it don't really matter at the end of the day, but we may want the Giants to knock the Eagles off. That would put the Eagles at 4-2. We'd be about 2 more games or 1.5 games out. But nevertheless, they're going to play, and then I don't know who the Washington Commanders are playing this week. But I'll tell you this, man, I got to give the Washington Commanders credit because I just don't think the Washington Commanders really I just don't think they have a really good team. I don't think they have a really good team, but they're finding ways to win. Man, I got to give it to them. Okay, so the Commanders are playing the Chicago Bears. I sure hate we lost to the Chicago Bears. But that may come back to haunt us if there's any kind of tiebreakers. I'm going to find it hard to believe that the Bears are going to go into Washington and beat the Commanders. Yeah, I'm going to find it hard to believe. I don't think it's going to happen. But anyway, that's kind of what the schedule looks like this week. So the Cowboys, I don't think they're going to move for right now, even if they beat the Carolina Panthers, which I do think they will. I don't think the Chicago Bears. I think the Commanders are too much for the Chicago Bears. The Eagles and the Giants. It's not really going to move us either way per se. So it's going to be a rough week in the NFC East. This is why we got to keep winning. We definitely have to keep winning. Keep winning and see what happens around midseason. But we have to keep winning. All right, let's get over here. So we're gonna look at Was I a Prophet? And we're going to include some of this stuff in here. But I want to go back and look at what we talked about on Sunday morning on the Sunday morning show. Let's kind of go back and look at the storylines and things that we talked about and kind of see what came to fruition. How did the Cowboys wind up annihilating the New York Jets? How did they do it? How did they do it? The Schottenheimer return wasn't a big deal. But I do think the White Cotton and Solomon Thomas thing was a little bit of a big deal. I mean, White Cotton looked absolutely incredible. White Cotton's defensive line looked absolutely incredible. So White Cotton did a number on them boys. Cowboys injuries, they overcame them. Great. Absolutely great. Nate Thomas looked good. Wanye looked good. Maurice changed the game, punching the ball out of Breece Hall's hand. I believe that fumble kind of really got the momentum for the Cowboys, and it was foot on the throttle after that. The players who played in the place of the injuries played very, very good. And kind of going back to what Angie said, the winners and the losers. Well, I can tell you this. The winners, Nate Thomas. Nate Thomas looked very good on the offensive line, putting pressure on Terrence Steele and Tyler Guyton. Jaden Blue, of course, he was a winner just getting to play. Ryan Flanoy. Jalen Tolbert gonna probably start losing some sleep at night. Because I'm telling you, Ryan Flanoy looked incredible. And I don't think there's any way the Cowboys can put Ryan Flanoy back on the practice squad. There is no way he can go back to the practice squad. Flanoy has got to be on the 53-man roster. So when you start talking about winners and losers, Angie, winners all the way around is the Cowboys because the competition in the wide receiver room is incredible. So I absolutely love it. But Malik Hooker, bro, Wanye Thomas should keep that position too. Maurice should keep Sanborn's position. Shamar James should keep Damone Clark's position. And we should roll with Shamar James, Maurice Leofau, use Murray in the middle until Overshawn come back. And then when Overshawn come back, let him be depth too. But the people who played in those people's spots, they were the winners, Angie. And the people they played in spots, boy, I don't know if they were the losers, but I can tell you this, they got their work cut out for them. I said, will the defense improve? The defense improved. Can Dak be Superman again? Dak was absolutely Superman. All right, let's go to some more here. Let's go to some more here. Let's see. Offensive keys. Let's go there. Cowboys run the ball 35 times. Hold on. Let's pull up this Cowboys box score. Still didn't achieve. They still did not achieve 35 carries. Let's pull it up here. Team stats overall, though, the Cowboys rushed for 180 yards. We'll get there in just a moment. Okay, run the ball 35 times. Let's see what the Cowboys' run stats look like. I said the Cowboys should run the ball 35 times. Was I a prophet on this? How many times did they run the ball? So that is 23, 25. They ran the ball 29 times. They got close. 35 times. Start fast offensively and defensively. I thought the defense started off really good, but they didn't start off as fast offensively. They only scored 3 points in the first quarter, but in the second quarter, the Cowboys took off. That Maurice Leofau turnover really turned the game, and the Cowboys scored 20 unanswered points in the second quarter. Brandon Aubrey actually missed an extra point, and I was shocked. I don't think, though, the Cowboys, I don't think they put Pickens in motion enough. Even though he only had 2 catches, 2 for 57 yards, he did have Sauce Gardner on him, but I thought the Cowboys could have did a little bit more with George Pickens, but I think the Cowboys were basically content with letting George Pickens just basically take Sauce Gardner out of the game, and the Cowboys said, we'll take our chances with the rest of them. And Ryan Flanoy rose to the occasion when we talked about last week that these 4 wide receivers had to really, these 3 wide receivers and tight ends needed to step up. Well, I'm going to give Jake Ferguson his credit. Jake Ferguson, even though he didn't burn it up with yards, he was 7 for 49, 7 yards average. He had 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he looked really good. He looked really, really good. He looked good. And of course, Ryan Flanoy was incredible. Ryan Flanoy led all wide receivers with 6 receptions, 114 yards. George Pickens, 2 for 57. Jake, 7 for 49. Hunter Lipke, 1 for 10. I absolutely love the fact the Cowboys are playing Hunter Lipke at fullback. I just wish they could get him a little bit more involved in the offense. getting his hands on the ball. Luke Schoonmaker, Javonte was 1 for 4. Schoonmaker was 1 for 3. Jalen Tolbert was zeros all across the board. Now, I did notice that Brian Schottenheimer made a point to say that Tolbert does things that don't show up. That Tolbert does things that don't show up on the stat sheet. So I knew where he was going with that already. The Cowboys, they didn't run Jaden Blue 15 times. I'm hoping Jaden Blue gets his run count up. Javonte Williams actually did run the ball 20 times. Hunter Licky, they used him at fullback. He's just not running the penalties. Let's see here. Let's see what the Cowboys did on the penalties here. Cowboys on penalties. Cowboys still, they got to improve on this. Cowboys are still hurting themselves with penalties. They were 11 for 91 on penalties. They got to fix that. Got to fix that. Win time of possession. I said the Cowboys need to win time of possession. Let's see. TOP. Cowboys actually did not win the time of possession. But the Jets did kind of have the ball. It seemed like a lot in the fourth quarter. I said the Cowboys needed to score touchdowns rather than field goals. Again, I do like the fact that the Cowboys only used Brandon Aubrey for 1 field goal. That's how you want to use Brandon Aubrey. I don't like when the Cowboys kick 3 and 4 field goals in the game. No, we need all touchdowns. All touchdowns. He missed an extra point. And again, as great as he is, I still say when you can score touchdowns, score touchdowns. I'm not trying to put every game on the foot of the kicker, no matter how much confidence I have in him. But again, Turpin didn't play. Blue, they didn't put him in the passing game. George Pickens, they got him on a deep shot. Yep. Profit status on that. So, for the most part, a lot of things were kind of where I was. Cowboys, I said on defense, 3 and outs. Spot Justin Fields, they didn't really have to, but they kept gap integrity so he couldn't slip through the gaps. The Cowboys, for the most part, I would say they kind of stopped the run. I'm going to have to look at the quarter-by-quarter breakdown, but they gave up 144 yards rushing, but nevertheless, it wasn't effective. I think the Cowboys did turn up the blitz. They lessened the big plays. We didn't get the big plays. And I do think the Cowboys ran some man. Again, Sam Williams did okay. Jadeveon Clowney, I think Jadeveon Clowney is having an effect on the Cowboys. Even though it didn't register on the stat sheet. He had 1 tackle and 1 assisted tackle. But he had a great... Deron Bland, I thought, had a good game. Maurice Leofau had a great game. Didn't see Marquise Bell. I don't remember. Wanye Thomas, great game. I think he was a part of the reason why the defense looked better. The Cowboys did play some more man. They did. They actually did that. Garrett Wilson wasn't a factor. I think the Cowboys blitzed a little bit more. The defense played extremely physical. They were extremely aggressive. And again, they contained Justin Fields. Yep. This is how the Cowboys beat the brakes off them boys. Beat the brakes off of them. Special teams was exactly right. Brandon Aubrey, only extra points, and he missed 1. Jaden Blue had a big run in the kickoff game. Yep. Jaden Blue did well. My thoughts, Justin Fields would run the ball a lot. The Cowboys stopped him from running the ball, which was great. Jets will get after Dak Prescott. They tried, didn't work. Jaden Blue wasn't a factor. The Cowboys will rush for 150 to 200 yards. Did that. Clowney will get a sack. Didn't happen. Actually, it was Clark that got a sack. James Houston got 2 sacks. I mean, it was incredible. And we had a Dante Fowler sighting. Fowler, bro, you should have been doing this all season long. Game really wasn't tough. Wasn't tough as I thought it was going to be. The Cowboys would turn Fields over. And I'm not sure. I don't think they turned him over, but they did turn Breece Hall over. So we didn't reach perfect status on my thoughts. But overall, Big Rombowski, first comment of the show today was dead on. This is how you beat. When people say it's only the Jets, I don't buy that. I don't buy it's only the Jets. I only buy it's only the Jets. Now, if we would have got beat by the Jets, everybody would have been saying it was the Jets and they got beat. No. When you play a team like the Jets, they stomped them exactly the way they were supposed to. Tristan York, good night. He said good night to Cowboys Nation. Appreciate you, Tristan York. Yeah, we about to get out of here for Monday Night Football. And then we're going to try to come back tonight. Y'all pray I don't fall asleep tonight. I love doing Cowboys After Dark. But I've been waking up at about 4 o'clock in the morning, so it's been killing me. Big Rombowski said, apologizing to Jerry Jones. He said, Jerry is the reason. Big Rombowski. He said, Jerry's the reason the NFL writers will look for any reason to not vote Dak for MVP. Boy, yeah, you babe, man. You right. Hey, but you know what? I think they're going to vote for him this year, Big Rombowski, because I think they are sympathetic towards Dak Prescott because they have noticed that this man is carrying this team, and I think this year they may actually vote for this man. They may actually vote for this man, I'm telling you. All right, so let's look at the next part. Didn't reach profit status on that. Okay, let's get to the next part. So I said the score on the game was going to be the Cowboys 37, the Jets 17. And the score turned out to be, I almost hit profit status. I said the Cowboys would score 37 points. The Jets scored 22 points. I'm not telling you to do any kind of betting on any scores or anything I give, but I'm just telling you that was almost profit status there. 37-17. All right, let's see. So the Jets didn't do none of what we thought, so it was good. So overall, man, the Cowboys, it was great. It was a great game. The Cowboys did exactly what they were supposed to do. Now, can they do it again? Question is, can they do it again? All right, guys. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. We're going to try to come back for Cowboys After Dark. We're going to try to get back busy again tonight. Had some more things I wanted to talk about. But nevertheless, man, I'm telling you, if the Cowboys can just get their defense to 20, a top 10 defense, we're in the Super Bowl. a top 10 defense with this offense and Dak Prescott, Super Bowl. Super Bowl. But if we could just get them to 20, man, we could just get them to 20. If we could get the Cowboys defense to 20, the Cowboys going to be in the top 4. Cowboys going to be in the top 4. They will win a playoff game, possibly 2 playoff games. If they can get that defense to 15, NFC Championship game. They get it to 10, it's Super Bowl though. I'm telling you, this offense can score 30 points on anybody. Anybody. We would have scored 30 on Chicago. We just didn't have enough time to prepare for the fact that CeeDee Lamb was going to be gone by the second drive. But the Cowboys, let's just say today that known he wasn't going to play against Chicago. They would have beat Chicago too. I believe they would have beat Chicago. Byron Joe DeVee, appreciate that $1.99 super chat. Yeah, they're trying. There are some people that are saying this thing about Baker Mayfield, but everything I've been seeing has been pointing to Dak Prescott. So we're going to see. All right, guys, I'm going to take a break. Y'all pray for me. We're going to try to come back for Cowboys After Dark tonight. Until the next time, I'll see y'all later. TC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys when we talk facts. Peace.